Increase decrease constant is one of, in my opinion, the easier topics that we'll cover mathematically. I think the reason that some kids get into trouble with increase decrease constant is because they answer in terms of their y values, which is incorrect. You definitely want to answer using x values for this. So if you see increase decrease constant, your answer is going to be in terms of x's. Now, the other thing that you really need to know going into this is these graphs always go left to right. So like if I hopped on this line, I would start here and go from left to right, and that's how I would determine increase or decrease. So let's just jump right in. The area of this line that is increasing from left to right would be this section right here. So if you wanted to answer this, all you would have to do is say, okay, from this spot here, which has an x value of -2, to this spot here, which has an x value of 1, I am increasing. So you just write that interval. So I go parentheses. So I go parentheses, -2, comma, 1. I just write it in interval form. Now, notice that I did not put brackets here. I did not put brackets. You do not want to use brackets on increase, decrease constant, because if you think about it, like for example, at this point right here, if I'm sitting on this point, I'm not increasing or decreasing. I'm just there. So you don't want to include that as part of your interval. Definitely use parentheses when you answer increase, decrease constant. All right, now the section of line that is decreasing here would be this section here. And notice it has an arrow on the end. That means it's going to keep going down forever. So if I was answering this, well, the section of line where it starts decreasing would be at an x value of 1. Notice I still use a parentheses there. And then the section of line where it stops, or it doesn't, because it has an arrow, so it's going to keep going down and over forever, all the way until an x value of infinity. So I would use an infinity here. Notice I still use a parentheses. You always use a parentheses with that infinity sign. And notice that I did not put negative infinity. Yeah, I'm aware it's going down, but that's what's going to get you into trouble on these problems if you start thinking about it in terms of y values instead of x values. Yes, it's going down to negative infinity, but in terms of my answer, I answer with x values, which is going to positive infinity. Okay, lastly would be the constant. Constant would be this section of line right here. Notice it has an arrow as well. So if it continued going on forever, it would hit an x value of negative infinity. That would be my furthest left point where I would start this interval. So that would be negative infinity until this spot here at -2 is when it stops being constant. And that's increase, decrease, constant.